Hi, I'm Herbert. I know what I'm doing. Nobody believes that. Derp. Hey Dracan, how you doing? Hey Bargain Buster on YouTube. I'm gonna build this. Look how blown out that is. I could adjust my settings, but look how dark the sprue is. Having it like this means it's visible on a black background. Hopefully, looks a bit better when I do the YouTube video. I got this for the instructions, but I said but. If I can find the thing, I've got the website instructions, which are much bigger. Hey, it's Muse. How you doing? Reading? What is that? I've never read. I can't read. I guess it does look like a hunchback. It's kind of weird.
But.
Exactly. Brr. Clip this like that first. Why do they have to make it so difficult to get all my bits in there? Probably want this as well. I figured this would be a relatively simple kit. And I'm probably right. The way they've got it, it's kind of hard to cut off the sprues as neatly as I want. I'm gonna have to make double cuts. Fuck. You could read what's written on the box with your perfect Polish speaking. I could, but that would be showing off. Nobody likes a show off. What does it say? Look at that. World War II collection. Perfect Polish. Seria Limitowana? Limitowana. Naimeki Kaizeki Samoshod Pansoni? Pancreas? Yep. I know how to read. This step also wants wheels and front and rear bumper doodadery. They're not really bumpers, they're headlight attachments, I guess. Very good. There's quite a bit of flash on some of these bits. It's disappointing. That's Polish for Armored Radio Sauerkraut Mover. Believe me, I do believe you. I wonder how many people spoke Polish before keyboards were invented to mash random letters on. Well, before that they just did the printing press thing where they had the cases of letters. They just threw random letters into the doodad. Do not break, please. Did I clip all the bits? Sure did. We'll start with the easy to clean up bits, like this. My knife is missing. I found it. Hopefully, this time the YouTube VOD for this stream won't have 1,000 notifications due to not DMCA takedowns, but copyright notifications. This time I've got my music set to YouTube safe also, as well as Twitch safe. I might just go back to deleting the VODs. Well, this is awkward to hold. One piece neatened up. Oh, my computer is doing a thing. Surely that isn't part of the detail. Looks like I've damaged it somehow. No, I think that's part of the sprue. That's why it looks so ragged. That's probably good enough. We could do this Jeffreying technique that I've heard so much about, invented by Jeffrey Test Fitting. It's funny because it's a callback to a joke Trekken made weeks ago. It looks like it's going to go together good. Now the rest of the parts and their flash. Fucking flash. Looks like a nubbin I need to trim off. And hopefully it is, because I've trimmed it off. Don't know how well these need to be cleaned up, to be honest. They'll be mostly hidden behind wheel. As long as I get the big chunks of flash off, should be fine. Also, without breaking the part, ideally. Be nice. If anybody looks under there and sees any lumps of plastic, we'll just tell them it's mud. Yes. That ought to hold the little SOBs.
That's what she said.
That is what she said. She says it all the time. She won't shut up about it. We should be happy that Mr. Test Fitting invented the Jeffreying. No need to make fun of him. I wasn't making fun. I was laughing with him. That one was particularly bad. And continues to be particularly bad. Don't know why I used the past tense when I was still working on it. I guess the alternative to all this flashing would be a bunch of small pieces having to be glued on. So maybe the flashing isn't that bad. I just wiped a piece off the desk. Never done that before. Boy. Fortunately, it's got crud on it now. Fortunately, it was a big enough piece that I could see it. Used past tense because he hoped it's a problem for future her, but yeah, that's it. Boy, does it suck to be future her, but He gets all of the problems. Not only does he get all of the problems, he also gets the robot AI dystopia. Sucks to be him. That's a bit rough, but it'll do. Strange enough, future is now. Oh man. I was hoping I'd get at least a few more years before the future caught up with me. It is difficult to tell which way around this goes. I think this little duva goes toward the front. And we sandwich these in between those two bits. Sandwich. The cool thing about this kit is it comes with a metal gun. A microscopic metal gun in a drugs baggie. Superglue companies figuring out how to make their product stick to absolutely nothing except fingers. They do it on purpose. It's their specific formulation. Okay, how the bleeding heck is this meant to go in? It's not perfect. Maybe a little more scraping will help. You had only 3 of the already? Did you miss out a word there? Was for Flames of War V3, but they switched to V4. A little bit more than a year ago. In V4, you can field only 2 or 4, so you needed 1 more. Bastards! They did that on purpose. Come on, go into place. Thank you. Maybe I need to go back to bed. I just can't get this right. I say as I get it right. My brain is still busy processing the fact that I'm awake again. That probably needs a little more cleanup along the top. I'm going to say that's probably as good as that's going to be. And we're going to hope the glue will work a miracle. I guess Battlefront is a company and needs to make money. I heard that's called communism. That's what that is. The turret, it would have to do the Batman turn to scout things and look about. I mean, actually, is this one of the vehicles that would go as fast in reverse? I don't think it is. Maybe this one is just for radioing. They don't actually look about. It's got the big antenna for the top. They rely on signals from others to be told what's going on, and then they radio it out. Then they drive away. Okay, so that's gonna go like that. And then it is very weird without the turret though, I think. Antenna doubles as a really inefficient roll cage. Yeah, I'm sure that would work. Maybe it's like a sandbag armor. It doesn't help, but it's for the crew's peace of mind. Let's make sure I'm not removing something I shouldn't be. For the first time ever, I would never accidentally remove part of a piece. Probably could do with a sharp blade on this knife, because the more easy it cuts through parts, the less risk of breaking thin parts there is. Okay, how hidden inside the thing is that? And can I get away with not removing all of the nubbins? It's good for hanging out laundry. Yep. I mean, you got to hang your laundry out somewhere. I think that'll work. Done. Enough. The metal gun of the kit is an MG only, not a 20mm gun. I guess that makes sense. It is pretty tiny. Well, this thing would only have a machine gun if it's just like a radio scouty boy, I suppose. Yeah, you're right, Blitz 9H. There are some tedious parts in a lot of these kits, but I think that is just the price you pay for the bit of extra detail they add. Problem is, a lot of the time the plastic isn't strong enough to deal with how thin some of the bits are. And there's a very real risk of breaking them, which I probably talk about in every First to Fight kit video, even when I don't break them. I'm just gonna trim that down a bit. I think we've got enough bits to start gluing. You're wrong. In Germany, we don't do the laundry. We wear our clothes from the day we were born till we can't get sauerkraut anymore. And it's always the stereotypical lederhosen that you wear constantly. I would hope they have a mobile carrier pigeon vehicle. That would just be sensible. Don't leave home without your backup mobile pigeon carrier. It's not an A7V. I haven't built an A7V for a while. I got a hankering for some World War I stuff. And I know I think I know I've got a Whippet up there in my stash somewhere. I haven't built a Whippet before. A Whippet good. I'm gonna start by gluing the front part in. I don't want to update your software phone. You shit. I like that it's a specific soldier for the pigeon. I guess you have to be trained to use pigeons, so it makes sense, but it's just funny in my mind. That seems in focus. Praise the glue god. Press record if you wish to capture images. That isn't a perfect fit, but it is a fit. A fit of some sort. If you want to be really perfectionist, probably have to do some filling around that. And these should stay in place. No. Needs a little bit more attention from the knife. The knife, the universal problem solver. Like an overland cable car. What about a car with a big spool of telegraph wire that unspilled behind it as it drove like one of them undersea cable ships? That's what Jose? That's what you're responding to. It's a land ship for cable laying. Okay, that doesn't seem to want to fit. Do I have to do more cleanup on that? Boy, howdy. I don't think it should be hanging upside down. The D is silent, like Django, I guess. I will try to remember that. We got that, which will eventually stay where I want it to stay with my convincing liquid. I feel like that's a pretty good way to do the headlamps and tail lights, actually, rather than just a hole for those little bits to go in. Yep, that's how you put the brush back in the bottle, Herbert. Frickin' idiot. And hopefully that's gonna go onto the other bit good and proper. I guess that makes sense. If the pigeon, like, is struggling to breathe because of fumes and stuff, you know, the first thing it's gonna do is go and sit and be able to breathe properly. This should work pretty good. Any gaps that we can put glue at? Hope that it fills them in. That's pretty good fit, actually. We should be able to just put the bottom bit on right away. A car with a livestock trailer with a horseback-mounted courier. If the horse courier also carries a little cage with a pigeon in it for the ultimate contingency. Surely that's a good idea. Yeah, and the horse rider has to be a marathon runner also. You better send like a backup horse rider with pigeon, just in case the first one fails. Okay, why is that being gappy at the rear? Is it purely out of spite? Yes. Plastic kits are able to feel feelings and be spiteful. I think that's good enough. Not really sure where to put the glue, so I'm just going to put it everywhere. Way too much of it. Just give this a bit of a hold. Radio, so that he can call for a helicopter. You can never be too prepared, as the youth say. The youth don't say that, do they? I am a little bit disappointed that there's some little sink marks in the lens of the headlamps. Also, I must have bent that. That is very fragile. I'll just try to avoid touching those. A helicopter. Helicopters aren't silly, they're very practical and sensible. Always carry a helicopter. Hey Hellcat, I have been keeping the First to Fight magazines, though I can't read them, so they just sit there. So far, they aren't taking up too much space, though, so they can stay for now. Okay, want wheels. It's time for wheels. And I think that's all for what looks to be the first step. The first of 3. There is a lot of wheels to deal with. I guess 8 isn't that many compared to like a Churchill or something. Or a Tiger. Speaking of which, I received the Vespid Tiger the other day. I will start building that relatively soon. I'm going to make a what's in the box video, or am halfway through a what's in the box video. Nice photo etch in the box. It's nowhere near as much photo etch as the Centurion had. Nowhere near as many tiny bits needing all kinds of folding. So I'm not too unhappy with that. There's some sort of flying creature. Uninvited flying creatures. Looks like a good kit though, so I'm not too worried about it being frustrating like that Centurion was. Are the Lords of the Ring Eagles, are they better than a helicopter? I would assume yes. Did I only half do that? Oh, what a turd. They're more sensible, certainly. Maybe one day entirely photo etch kits will come with some plastic parts in the box. Well, I guess, what are they called? Those Metal Earth? I think it's Metal Earth. They're entirely photo etch. Maybe they'll start coming with plastic in the box. I've still got one of those Metal Earth racing car kits my brother gave me like 500 years ago. And he gave it to me because he didn't want to build it. Now we're halfway there. Living on a prayer. Starting to feel real warm in here. Gross. It's already 32 degrees. And I guess it's almost... It is 11. I guess that makes sense. It's not as early as I thought it was. Did an impulse purchase. M3 half-track by PSC with American crew. Why? The Israeli army used the M3 till the war in 1973. So you'll paint it as part of being the IDF. That sounds like a cool idea, though. You did it for serious reasons only. I mean, you wouldn't do it for silly reasons. No way. No snow for Christmas? No snow ever here. It doesn't get cold enough to snow in most of Australia. Usually it's rainy around Christmas and New Year's. It used to be a storm every afternoon in summer, but not anymore. It's too far away for snow to go there, especially with airfare prices. Yep. Even shipping it in packages would be expensive. No one's got time for that. Or money for that, rather. Absolutely not for fun. No fun allowed around here. Only serious business. Some of those are a bit rough, but we can blame the kids for that. The no good punk kids. Snow Mice is a stingy bastard. Yeah. I'd love it if it snowed, even in our actual winter. I don't really care about Christmas, so I don't care if it snows at Christmas. Okay, wheels. And then they want the little side thingies. I guess it makes sense to put the wheels on before those. Go to the desert and paint the sand white. That sounds difficult. The sand is close enough to being white anyway in a lot of places. Maybe not in the desert. I think a lot of that is more of an orange and red color, depending on where it is. Beach sand? I've been to some pretty white beaches. How is the focus on the overhead with that? It's probably acceptable. I still need to try and get a different lens for that overhead and see how different that is. I do appreciate that there is not only the axle, but these suspension doodads should give it a bit more strength. One grain at a time. That sounds not at all torturous. It sounds wonderful and relaxing. I think that's on straight enough. Let's put a bit more glue in there. It's a bit hard to hold without brushing against these bits. Ooh, la-di-da, we're Australians. White sand is not good enough for us. We need red sand on a red desert. Ooh. That's what Australians sound like. We need the red sand because that's like high iron content. We need that to sell to other countries instead of keeping ourselves. It's better that way because it makes mining billionaires richer. That's important. If you couldn't tell, that was sarcasm. Eight rad, more like 8 radical. It's true. It's pretty radical. It's not going to work if you put the wheel on backwards, Herbert, you fool. This feels like it's going to be a relatively solid model for a first to fight kit. Usually they feel pretty delicate to handle. In fact, I feel relatively confident in letting it sit on its wheels while the glue isn't completely bonded yet. Imagine having 8 of those hub spinners on it. It just rocks up with the spinners rolling. Definitely rad and not at all silly. What if UFOs are just alien billionaires? Maybe we should shoot them down. Okay. I think the next thing to do will be these. It also wants... I don't know what they are, little handly railing doodads. Some sort of boxes. Those go on the side parts. I'll leave that on the sprue for now. It seems delicate and easy to break. for farts and giggles. I've not heard it said that way. Usually it's shits and giggles. I don't know. I don't think I've got enough of any of the vehicles for an army, because usually in the magazines there's a unit composition guide, and they're always like a handful of models. So I don't think I'd have enough to actually form any kind of a force. Initially I bought the kits and didn't even realize that they were for a gaming system. I just saw, I think it was, what's the little Polish tracked machine gun with barely anything else? TSK or something? I saw that and thought, hey, that's cool and cheap. I'll buy that. And then I was like, oh, it's for gaming. TKS. I got another TKS variant the other day, other week or whatever, with a bigger gun on it. I got a couple of things the other day that are pretty cool. I got I think it's a Daihatsu Lisa. I'm gonna make that a zombie car, because I thought it would be funny, and it was cheap. Maybe not with guns and stuff on it, but I want to put like a welded cage sort of thing around it with blades. And because it's one of those little I don't know, 4-cylinder city sort of car. I just think that's funny that somebody would bother putting spikes and armor plating and roll cages and shit all over it. Cheap wargame models are fun to screw around with for projects like that. Yeah. I just want like something in a bigger scale. Like, I think it's the same scale as the Battle Beetle I did. I have thought about doing Matchbox car apocalypse vehicles, but so far I haven't bothered. I think this is a nubbin I should be removing. I also got a, I had to spend $150, you see. Had to. When buying that, the Vespid Tiger. I needed some primer. So I thought, you know, why not? Why not get more kits that I don't actually need to be buying? I got the Das Werk Schwimmwagen of some sort, with the weird rounded front. Another nubbin that needs to be removed. There's one guy on Instagram that does real wild custom works on Hot Wheels cars. That's cool. I do like that sort of thing. It's probably not really a safe way to be clipping stuff while holding a knife pointed at you, but nobody saw anything. The classic move of spending an extra $100 to save $15 on shipping. That probably wasn't even $15. I think it's like 10 in Australia. At least from that shop, anyway. But I mean, I did really want the Vespid Tiger. I've been planning to get that when I saw it was available. The Hetzer was not available yet, so I probably gonna have to spend another $150 when I see that. But I would rather, like, because the Tiger was like $35, $40. And the primer was about 10. So, I mean, why not go further? It's not really hurting anything. It's not like I'm spending rent money or food money on kits. And I was smart enough to wait until after I made sure my car registration was paid. Or I had the money ready to pay that. Some of these bits are real awkward to hold. That feels like it's gonna break in the middle. Which way to the front? Instructions. Shovels rearward. There's a little recess there for the tabs to go into. So that shouldn't be too difficult. Famous last words. I can't see the tabs from that angle. But they are there. Yeah, it'll hold the little SLB. And hopefully we can get this side on without nudging the other side out of position. That would be ideal. They should write on the box, new parts, awkward. Maybe. It is whimsical Fender assembly music. I do like the Epic playlist on Pretzel. And sometimes it somehow just fits what I'm doing. But when it doesn't, I think it's funny. I'm gonna have to check once I'm finished here, though YouTube will spam me about it, and make sure that the YouTube safe selection on Pretzel actually is YouTube safe. Not that I really care about the VOD, the monetization-ableness of the VOD, which is a word now. It's kind of annoying when they're like, warning, everyone else is monetizing these tracks. These don't belong to you. And they're right. They would be the ones that aren't YouTube safe. Though they are Twitch safe. And it looks like I've got these on at different heights. Maybe I'm just imagining it. I'm sure it's fine. Just nobody come and measure the heights of the fenders. Okay. We're at an hour and 10 minutes. I didn't think it was taking that long, but yes it is. And now we need to unminimize the instructions. Try to get this off the sprue without breaking them. And then try to clean it up without breaking it. There's the plastic gun. We don't need you. So long, reject gun. Oh no. Tomorrow Trekkan comes over to measure the height of the fenders. Fuck. What if I just pretend not to be home? I mean, what if I'm not home? I'm sure I could think of something to go out and do. Looks like I'm skipping ahead. They want one of these and one of these in the next step, but I'm gonna do them both. Bastards. This has so many sprue connection points. Which is so many points at which it could break. How about... do I know how to do a prediction? I was sure there was a button for that on my thing, but maybe it's actually in the dashboard. Yeah, 15 minutes. Yes. Outcome 2? No. That's a fun Twitch thing, isn't it? A prediction. You've got however long to vote. You could think about doing things elsewhere, but you're too lazy to leave the house. It's too fucking hot to leave the house. He said butt on, so he will turn his butt on. I see there's one yes prediction. We'll find out very soon. feel like the more I can do with the clippers, the better. Get this big one off the sprue. That's the risky one. The trick is to not cut bits that I don't want, that don't need to be cut. That's the difficult thing. Fuck. It's broke. Broken before I even get it off the sprue. You were waiting for that. Okay, what needs to be kept? It is an interesting sprue shape. I guess it's to protect it, to stop it from breaking. But it is a bit annoying to have to cut around it all. Okay, these bits stay. These bits do not. Okay, we've got one break in it. We don't need more. So many little... The thing is, they're meant to protect it, but they hinder when it comes time to remove them. Meaning you'll probably break it. Because there's so many extra bits to clean up. I don't know how much to clip off here. Looks like it goes like that there. There's so much extra crap here. And it seems these bits should be straight. Big money, no whammy. Whammy. Hey, Andrew77. I've got the helicopter from Rubicon, the Huey, that's the word I was looking for, and a T26. I do plan on buying more Rubicon kits after that, but at the moment, I'm trying to not spend too much on new kits, which is why I just spend $150 on other stuff, because I'm not good at things. Okay, try to stick this on. How does that work? This is going to take so much effort to clean up. And also, I don't know if these nubbins are meant to be like that. I think they are. If you call the Huey Lewis and build while watching the news, you have Huey Lewis and the news. I really need a rimshot sound effect on my stream deck. Excuse me. Maybe I'll put the other bits on before fucking with that more. Which do need cleaning up first. I'm pretty confident I can clean this bit up without breaking it. Better yet, make it a sound of a small piece pinging off into the waiting jaws of the carpet monster. That's too, it's too real, man. I can't deal with it. I don't appreciate all of these nubbins. I kind of wonder... Oh, fuck. I think it's broken. I kind of wonder if it would be a good idea or not. It's probably not, but to glue the part on and then... Fucking Christ. And then give it a bit of a gentle cleanup with a fine file or something. This is a first to fight kit, so it's not really surprising that the thin parts are breaking. Disappointing, but not surprising. No cheating, apparently. Idiot let part fall on the ground only. I'm gonna try glue this part back together before sticking on the model. It kind of looks like it's got another fracture in it. There, it's like I didn't break it at all. What's wrong with your eye, Herbert? That'll hold it together enough to get it onto the model, probably. Northern Michigan in the house. That's a big house. How did you fit an entire state in the house? And now, we'll clean this one up without breaking it. I'm going to regret saying that. This music isn't suspenseful enough. This isn't any better. I don't know if it's picking up on the microphone, but somebody has chosen to start up a mower outside. I'm from Australia, where it's the middle of the day and well over 30 degrees. Somebody doesn't value their health. 33 degrees. $33 degrees. That's just above freezing. Not if you use correct measurements. Don't break, please. One more bit. It's not perfect, but it will do. Maybe if we spill glue all over it, we'll melt down some of those nubbins. Okay, those are... I was about to say, other than the big antenna, the last bits, but they're not. There's more bits. This big chunk of antenna, and the metal gun that I forgot about. Can't get my clipper in without also clipping off part of that antenna mast. That's gonna be annoying to try and get cleaned up without either slipping and ruining the lower bit or leaving it looking awful. Why, First to Fight? Why? Why you do this to me? Because fuck you, Herbert. That's why. It's as good a reason as any, really. If it weren't for all of these little nubbins, you'd be home now. Or the model would be finished. And the annoying thing about this one is there's a little bit of flash all the way around it. So you can't just zip off the sprue gates. Gotta get the whole lot. I did enjoy building the Protze, the truck. That was a good kit. The only thing I didn't like about it is the canvas cover doesn't fit properly. I think I've enjoyed pretty much all of the First to Fight kits. Except maybe that large artillery piece where so many parts broke. I think this part will have to go on after the main antenna is on. Can't tell. It's pronounced Protze. Protze. Got to enunciate the H. I'm going to say that's tidied up enough. And we'll leave that till dead last. Dead last. Did I paint it yet? I sure didn't. If it was painted, there'd be a YouTube video about it, probably. I have just closed the instructions. Didn't intend to do that. How does one computer? I don't know. Get the little gun. No, we'll put that on after these, whatever they are. It's hard to tell how they want these to go on. Less hard when you zoom right in. Something like that. There's no guides for these, but that's okay. I don't need guides. I just make it up as I go. That's how it works. Do need glue though. And maybe tweezers. Handy dandy tweezers from 9 Steps Industries. Get yours today. Piss. Maybe if I was in any way competent, this would be easy. Maybe that's not enough glue.
Piss.
Precisely. That looks like what they want. Bandai models versus Rubicon models. Which one do you think is better? It's not really the same thing, oh, is it? I mean, I don't think Bandai do any World War II stuff. Engineering-wise, I'd say Bandai, because everything there just goes together perfectly, because they're designed that way, with no need for glue. But if you're looking for a tank, you're probably not going to find one from Bandai. One of those is slightly lower than the other. I think that looks okay. Then whatever this thing, I can't tell which one is broken or not. Also, I totally forgot about that prediction. Surely there's something you do. Choose outcome. The outcome was yes. I'm sure it gives out a reward of some sort. Prediction result is yes. Hell yeah. I'm happy that the part broke for some reason. the blurgle wurgle. I may have the wrong one for that side. It's kind of hard to tell. I don't want to press on those wheels like I'm doing. I think I had it right the first time. I won 120 coins. Now I can go to Bevo Mart and buy Bevo stuff. 80 Bevo coins in the hole. Bevo is gonna break your legs. I'm sorry about that. Don't make the rules, though. Dang it. Why is this so difficult? Maybe if I look at the painting guide, I can get a better idea, because that's side on. Yes. Okay, so it goes on this side. Because the longer arm goes towards the rear, if longer arm is in fact the way to describe it. Piss. 7,000 liters of piss. Does look a bit rough, but that is where that's meant to be. And now we don't video the other one, and we just go, oh, it's magical, it's appeared on the other side. I don't think I have built a jet. I built a F-14? I don't remember what it was. I sometimes build World War II planes too, but very rarely. I've got a Junkers of some sort that I'd like to build at some point, and a Soviet plane, I think. fairly cheap Hobby Boss kits. And we will get this part on without re-breaking it, because I'm pretty sure this is the one I broke. And then we'll suffer through cleaning up the big antenna for the top. Making it worse. I'm making it worse. I think that's going to have to do. Doesn't look, like I said, perfect, but it's on, and maybe we can claim it some sort of damage incurred through battle. I guess you did an ME-109, of course. You still did the Battlefront Stuka centuries ago, too. I did, and the landing gear kept falling off. You can't get away with not having the landing gear on a Stuka. I mean, you can if you really want to, but it doesn't look right. Now the question, do I add the gun barrel and risk knocking it out of place? Yes, I do. Do I risk losing it on the cutting mat by having it roll away? Can't even tell which way around it should go. The instruction image shows it with the little nubbin on top for the sight. That's not on the part. You can't really see, but it is sort of flared at one end, like the opening, the shooty end of one of those guns. That'll stay there with no glue, no problem. Maybe I will use glue though. Super glue. Please stop rolling. Comically small metal gun is just a baby. He's just a small boy. This strand of hair. If that's gone, yeah, that's all the way in. Hell yeah. Who doesn't like a metal gun barrel, even if it is so tiny that it's almost pointless? You're so small, it's funny to me. And we've got this bit, which should go on the engine deck somewhere. I think there's a tiny little hole for it. So the hole is too small. The hole was too small. Is there a particular way around this goes? Doesn't look like it. It does have a sort of angle to the bottom, though. The upper casemate kind of looks like a King Tiger turret that's welded on. Excuse me. Yeah, I can see that. Particularly the door. Actually, the doors look like a Jagdtiger. Kind of. A King Tiger with a comically small gun. That looks like a ship mast's being glued onto the rear here. I guess that can be readjusted later if it doesn't quite fit the main antenna. Oh. Shouldn't be a problem. Famous last words yet again. That will more or less just sit in place. Assuming, you know, it stays in one piece. Very well could break. Probably will break. Even more. Maybe I shouldn't have bought the command radio version. I think there's another 2 versions of the 8-rad. At least that I saw on the website when looking for the instruction picture. What I need is a rebigulator to make this bigger. Hi. That's probably good enough. This is going to take a long time, I think. suitably dramatic music, I think. I've done one of these first to fight kits with this probably almost exactly the same antenna before. I can't remember if it was quite as tedious as this. Surely it was. That's gonna break. I would glue it back together, but maybe that should wait until after it's actually on the model. Will cleaning parts fail? Stay tuned to find out. Next time on Australian Idiot Glues Plastic Together. It's not comfortable holding the knife that way. But it's the only way I can get the blade where I want it while gripping the part how I want it. I feel like there is meant to be a slight raised bit where those parts join together, so I'm not going to completely erase that. Weird beetle on my knee. What's the largest first to fight kit out there? A lot of their stuff just seems to be small early war stuff. I think it is mostly early war Polish region stuff. I don't think they do anything like Tigers or anything like that. So probably the biggest is like a Panzer IV or something? I don't know. Watch Herbert, the not completely eraser. That's what they call me. The Pumas from Flames of War, I am pretty sure I've built those. I like Flames of War kits, so I probably liked them. They probably get a thumbs up. I can't specifically remember. I haven't built anything from Flames of War for a while. Maybe if they weren't so expensive, I would. You know, at this point, I feel like they should risk more breakage and have less sprue contact points. If they were real serious about protecting the part, they could do... I looked at my Flyhawk Panzer II, I think it is, the other day, and some of the sprues in that kit, not only did they come in foam packaging, but they're very solid around the edge of the sprue, and they stack, and it's very well protected. Maybe they should do that. Guess at least the plastic here isn't so brittle that it immediately snaps when you flex it. Maybe I shouldn't have said that, because it's gonna break next time I flex it, isn't it? Easy does it. Slow and steady wins the race, apparently, as the kids say. Oh man. Just pressed down a little too much on that and it's broken. And that makes it a lot more difficult to denubbify it. These bits are getting in the way. That music was too triumphant for this. Some very triumphant antenna cleaning music. And this is sounding too Irish for me. I'm not Irish. Though I do like my potatoes. I mean, who doesn't like potatoes? It's very hard for me to not move the knife in tempo with the music, even though it's not fast. It's too fast for what I want. These support bits are getting right in the way. I've noticed that bit there looks too lumpy for my liking. Grumble. Grumble. Maybe I should have started a timer when I started cleaning this up. So I'm really curious how long it's actually taken. Too long, but, you know. Nothing better than a bowl of mashed taters, except a bowl of mashed taters with gravy. I agree. Any form of potato, though, is good. I think maybe for lunch I'll be naughty. I'll be a bad egg and order something from the what do you call it? Kebab place, an HSP. Chips with kebab on top. Seems that the first to fight doesn't make a Panzer IV. The biggest tank is the Panzer III. And the biggest vehicle might be the 6-wheeled Praga truck. I thought they did make a Panzer IV. I would have sworn I built one. Maybe I'm not remembering correctly. So I assume that means you've just been checking, Trakan. So that's good to know. What type of history am I interested in? Mostly World War II era. Anything railway history. History in general is pretty interesting, in my opinion, but modern history is where I'm most interested. Not as in, like, modern day, but, like, modern history as what I would have been taught in school, I guess. So, industrialization onward. That's not the right way to be doing that one. Needs more support. Well, we're getting there. Very slowly. Polish destroyers. Do you mean like the ship kind of destroyer? Imagine that in 70-second scale. I should build a ship again. I'm pretty sure about 100 years ago I put a Patreon poll up and the decision was the Enterprise versus, I think... I can't remember what that was versus. Probably a German ship. I don't see the other ship in question. I think historians consider 1600s onward as modern history. Could have been Graf Spee. A lot of stuff has happened in recent history. Too much. Humans need to settle the fuck down. Don't drop the part and break it, Herbert, you fool. I don't know how far along that is, but I'd say we're at least halfway done. Maybe even more. Everyone who wants to start a war has to paint a 150-point formation for Flames of War first. Soviet infantry formation. Then they'll be so tired, worn out, that they won't have time for war. There's less time between the first ever airplane and the moon landing than the time between the moon landing and modern day. It's crazy when you think about it. All the things that you don't really think about in your day-to-day life are like relatively new. And pretty soon we'll probably have like robots in our houses. Well, not poor people like me, but soft robots will be common, apparently, in probably the better nursing homes. Not the shitty ones, but, you know. And somebody I watch is very much interested in, like, AI and stuff like that. And they talk about robots that are coming. I don't know that I actually want an AI robot in my house. I don't know that I trust it. But I also don't need it to, like, assist me in living. some of these bits, I can't tell if it's looking good enough or not, and every time I go back to touch it up a bit, there's an increased chance of breaking it. Imagine technology in 500 years. It's probably going to be well beyond anything I can imagine. I like to hope that we have the Star Trek future and not the shitty dystopia future. I don't think we actually do, though. Once we invent like replicators or whatever, and we have a post-scarcity society, we'll just have artificial scarcity, because humans are a bit shit like that. If I wipe the knife off so the little fragments of plastic aren't on it, it'll be easier to remove the little fragments of plastic that are on the part without just putting them back on. That is true. It could just be sticks and stones, depending on what we do. Trekkan would yell at the AI robot in the house to stand in the corner, back to the room. Think about what you've done, you technological shit. I'm pretty sure that humanity's just gonna destroy itself, but I'm a bit of a pessimist sometimes. Oh man. Yeah. I can't hold this in a way I need to hold it. That was already broken. I didn't re-break that. I didn't break a new bit. Maybe the sea people from the Bronze Age collapse make a comeback and destroy society. The future's an open door. I mean, could be worse. I mean, whatever it is that destroys us, I hope it's quick and doesn't enslave me. I don't want to slave for our robot overlords or some giant alien slug. think that's... No, there's still more. Got too excited. Hey, the Vulcans will come to Earth and everything will be fine. Hey, yeah. First Contact's only meant to be in a few years. We've still got to have World War III, though, and the eugenics wars. My drink is empty. That angers me. Emperor Zoidberg takes over. Not Zoidberg! Skynet isn't any... Maybe Zoidberg is better than Skynet. Marginally better. Wasn't, Skynet from the Terminator meant to be 2015? Or am I thinking of something else? Or was that Back to the Future? There's a few little nubbins of plastic that I might be able to brush off. Will Australia remain inhabited if air conditioning goes extinct? We'll probably mostly die. Or we'll go back to the old Queenslander-style buildings, which were designed with the heat in mind. And, like, circulation of air and stuff. We're probably just gonna die. Most of the houses around here are not designed for the climate without power. I'm going to say that's probably good enough. What time is it? How long did that take? Probably half an hour or so? 40 minutes? Well, what I know is that 2001 A Space Odyssey was wrong. How dare they? How dare they lie to us? There are two little little holes there. That there's probably meant to be guide pins on the bottom of those, but there isn't. These are meant to be there, but they're big, ugly, and not worth cleaning up, and I think it'll fit better if I just clip them off. Somebody will get mad about it on the internet, and I'll probably just let them yell into the void. If I can hold that still enough to cut where I want to cut. Snip. There we go. And let's see how badly that makes it not work. I think that's adequate. I don't know how that mast is meant to interact with the antenna, though. It looks like it just sits in the middle of that hole, so maybe it isn't meant to contact it at all. and Herbert in the video, and here I made a mistake. Yep, probably. But we don't know that it's a mistake yet, so I'm not pushing the mistake button. Northern Michigan, we have wood burners. We have wood burners here too for winter. I smell the smoke sometimes. It's never really cold enough for a fire, but some people like them. I like fire. Now let's see about putting this on. It's gonna need some kajiggering there, because it's bent inward. It's probably more sensible to glue this back together before putting it on, isn't it? I only broke it in 2 places. That's pretty good. That ought to do. There's too much glue on that brush. Even for a good glue god praising man like myself. Looks a little bit lopsided. Actually, it looks quite a bit lopsided. I don't know how to do that, to fix that without pressuring it. Maybe it's had an accident. It's been used as a roll cage before. So it's a little bit... How much you can see that. It's a little higher on this side. Or is it a little lower on this side? Ideally, I would have let it bond on one side before attaching to the other. And it's not quite sitting in place on that side. That isn't going to stay. That's gonna have to do, though. I could do some more kajiggering at it, but I'm just gonna be sitting there fiddling with it over and over if I don't let some of it bond in place. Does the glue god encompass all forms of cement, or do superglue, PVA, and plastic cement all have their own respective deities? I choose to believe that superglue is its own entity, and I guess all the rest too. But the glue god is all of the good glues and cements, the nice ones. Whereas glue Satan is the superglue. Ugh. Doesn't have to make any sense because it's a religion. Just as fake as any other religion. Maybe I should do that thing where I make a TikTok and then maybe upload it onto the TikTok about this model, because it's pretty good. And I assume I'll make a good video about it. Can I do this without dropping it? Hey, TikTok, I made this. This is a First to Fight 8-Rad SDKFZ 263. I had to read that off the box. It's a 72nd scale kit from First to Fight, and it's got a metal gun barrel. Ooh. Ah. I only broke the antenna on top twice. Pretty good. There's a YouTube video you should go and check out. Do it now. Or don't. I'm not your dad. Have a wonderful day. Yeah, that's probably going to be a good TikTok. Not 269? Nope. That's a... Did I say 8 or 3? That's a 3. It looks like an 8 from a distance at that sort of an angle, though. Good enough. Nobody'll notice. Nobody'll get all angry about that. So that's finished. Enough. I will probably have a bit of a fiddle with the antenna later. I said 3? Ah, I mean, in that case, I did it right. I may stream this evening. Probably not. But I do really feel like playing some Railroader. And I won't have time to do that until this evening. Otherwise, probably tomorrow night. There'll be a video about the N-Scale Collet coaches I got. Probably this evening. Or the Secret Knights of SDKF 263 come over you. Ugh. Ugh. I don't want that. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you next time. Modeling on Wednesday night. We're going to work on the border. Jagdpanzer 4. I'm not going to do a raid. Farewell.